Dillon Gabriel got the start on Saturday in Philadelphia, had a couple of turnovers, but all in all, and most importantly, emerged from the game not worse for the wear because he's got that hamstring issue. Kevin Stefanski told reporters yesterday that this week the Browns will name their starting quarterback. Now, of all the decisions the Browns have to make as it relates to their quarterbacks, I'd say the easiest is naming the starter.
Yeah.
If it's not Joe Flacco, who's it going to be?
Agreed. I mean,
no one else is ready to play.
Exactly.
It's Flacco.
I know, right? You're going to put Shedeur in. You're going to put Dillon Gabriel with one game of work here that we just saw, which was really good and impressive. Don't get me wrong. Kenny Pickett hasn't been able to do Jack Diddley squat. So, yeah, it's Flacco. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Anybody that's watching football, watching the Browns, I think if you read the room, you go, yeah, that's the direction they're going. It's more, like you said, how does the pecking order after that go? Who's second? Who's third string? You know, who's higher on the depth chart between Shedeur and Dillon Gabriel, who both were impressive in their game and in their preseason game. So that's what I'm more interested to see from Cleveland than anything else. I'm with you. It's Joe Flacco all the way. It certainly feels that way.
And are you keeping 4 into next week?
Yeah.
Are you going to have 4 of your 53 roster spots devoted to quarterbacks? Is it going to be 4 at first? Are you going to try to trade somebody afterward? You know, somebody raised this with me, and it's not a crazy thought. I'm not saying the Browns should or would do this. All I'm saying is when you've got that many quarterbacks and you're trying to figure out what to do with all of them and you view your quarterbacks as assets, what if there's a team out there that was that close to picking Shedeur Sanders in round 2 or 3 and decided, well, you know, we don't know how seriously he's going to take football.
Yeah.
And then they see him play in the preseason,
right,
and they say, whoa, wait a minute. Okay, we were wrong. We were that close to giving up a second or a third round pick this year for him. Let's call the Browns. Let's give him a second round pick next year or a third round pick next year, and let's see if they'll do it. If they view these quarterbacks as assets, it's a buy low, sell high. We get him for $144 this year. We flip him for a top 60 pick next year. Like, I don't know that they would do it. All I'm saying is
it's not crazy.
All factors are at play here.
It's not
all
crazy.
Cards are on the table for what could happen.
Right.
And you've got 4 guys. There could be many reasons why someone would call about any of the 4. Any of the 4. Maybe someone's going to call, let's just play it cool and let's see what happens. And the question is, will that extend beyond next Tuesday when they have 53-man roster limit? Will that extend into the regular season? Will they have 4 guys on the roster? I mean, you know, it was a point you made last week. They kind of have to now because they got so many guys that are injured.
Right.
But I think that's where it becomes tricky. The easy thing is to say Flacco's the starter. The harder thing is who's number 2, who's number 3, who's number 4, who stays, who goes, what can we get, how do we play this, how do we work this? And, Chris, I will add one caveat.
Yeah.
Because the Browns is the Browns, can you completely rule out Jimmy Haslam putting his thumb on the scale and wanting Shedeur Sanders to be the starter? I can't completely rule that out.
No, I mean, I hear you there, right? I mean, I hear you. And then also with your quarterback trading and all that, is there a team out there that looks at one of these guys and goes, hey, wait, maybe we see something for the future. Maybe we have an older quarterback or whatever else. And this, Shedeur or Dillon Gabriel could be a backup for us right now. But I think we're at a point here where I don't see any of that happening. I think 100% will be all 4 quarterbacks on the roster. And I think they're going to use the year. The Browns know they're not in the Super Bowl window. They know they're not going to win the AFC North. They're going to use this year to kind of figure out who they like. Can one of these guys be the future of the organization here? And I think the way they look at it goes, well, we got Shedeur and Dillon. We got 2 guys here that we think maybe could be that. Let's continue to evaluate and see what they're like during the year. And I think with the way their team is and the way Joe Flacco is and Kenny Pickett, would we be shocked whether it's the owner or one of those guys gets hurt and then these guys got to play this year and they fall into, oh, whoa, Shedeur's had to start with us in week 6. He played really well. Let's see what he does in week 7. Oh, damn, he did really well. And all of a sudden you start to go, maybe we have our starting quarterback here. So I think that we're going to see all 4 of them here, and they're going to continue to evaluate them and feel them out for the sake of the future of their franchise.
And as they hold the Jaguars' number 1 pick next year, if the Browns bottom out this year, they're going to be in position to draft a quarterback next year.
That's
so
right.
It's all the more reason to figure out what they have with who they have, because by next year, they could all be gone. And there's the ever-present possibility of Deshaun Watson showing up with a clean bill of health saying, you got to put me on the roster or you got to get me off the roster, but I'm healthy. And you got to deal with me. And that's where things could get even more interesting for the Browns. Another reason for it to be Flacco, we flagged this last week. You pointed this out, but it really does bear repeating. Cue the Browns' schedule.
Yeah.
Because
the defense.
Those first 6 games,
Yeah.
Yeah. You do not want anyone who isn't ready to go and able to perform when they have the Bengals, the Ravens, the Packers, the Lions, the Vikings, and the Steelers. Unbelievable. The 3 best teams in the AFC North and the 3 best teams in the NFC North, all due respect to the Bears, right out of the gates. I think Flacco has always been the answer. Flacco has always been the guy. They've kept him in bubble wrap for 2 preseason games. I'll be stunned if it's anyone but him as the starter for week 1. It'll be the biggest news of the day if it's anyone but Joe Flacco.
Yeah, I would agree. I would expect that. And like you said, we talked about it last week. Yeah, those defenses there, those are just not your ordinary run-of-the-mill type defenses. They do a lot. They would be like crash course for a young quarterback in Dillon, Gabriel, or Shedeur Sanders. So, yeah, I don't expect it. I expect it to be the veteran guy in Flacco. Kenny Pickett, when does he get back out there? When's he going to be 100% healthy? That's another thing that you just question where it is, all said and done. But, yeah, I expect it to be Flacco this week.
And one of the things Stefanski said yesterday, he's hoping that both Shedeur Sanders and Kenny Pickett will be able to do more this week in practice. And, again, Dillon Gabriel's not 100% because of the hamstring injury. It's just Flacco. It's Flacco. But at some point, either during those first 6 weeks or not long thereafter, probably someone other than Flacco will be playing quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.